Now, the International Monetary Fund IMF has announced plans to raise Ghana's projected growth rate, acknowledging the country's progress in recovering from its recent economic challenges. The IMF also praised the Ghanaian government for successfully restructuring approximately 90% of its public debt. I have more in the following report. The International Monetary Fund (IMF) has expressed strong confidence in Ghana's financial recovery plan after its third review of the country's performance under the IMF-supported program. The government has successfully completed its Eurobond debt exchange, restructuring $13 billion of its external debt with a high consent rate of over 98%. Economic growth also exceeded expectations in the first half of 2024. Speaking during a joint media engagement with the Finance Ministry and a delegation from the IMF and the Bank of Ghana, Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam said the agreement with bondholders had brought significant relief, including a 37% reduction in the nominal value of Ghana's debt.
At the end of the third review mission, the IMF staff concluded that the Republic is on course to meeting all the 6 quantitative performance criteria and the 4 indicative targets under the program. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to add that this is the first time Ghana will be meeting all the indicative targets in a review. The remarkable performance we have witnessed under the program so far, supported by the strong and robust real GDP performance, the great strides we are making in improving on the living conditions of the poor and the vulnerable in particular, the strong disinflation process, the steady and durable fiscal consolidation efforts, the great progress we have made in our debt restructuring program, our efforts in stabilizing the domestic currency, the ability to keep the financial sector stable in spite of the debt restructuring program, are many of the efforts that we have made together in bringing about improved economic circumstances today.
The IMF Executive Board will meet on Ghana's third review in the first week of December 2024 with an immediate release of the 4th tranche of $360 million upon successful conclusion of the review. Stefan Rode is the IMF mission chief to Ghana, and he says, based on sound economic indicators, the IMF will revise Ghana's economic growth.
It is clear that the policies and the reforms that have been implemented since the beginning of the program have continued to pay off. Economic growth in the first half of 2024 has been much higher than anticipated, and indeed we will revise our growth projections for this year, once again, I should say. Inflation has continued to decline. Fiscal adjustment is on track to meet the end-year fiscal target. Remember that the government is targeting a primary surplus of 0.5% of GDP this year. The external position has continued to improve, with rapid accumulation of international reserves by the Bank of Ghana. And indeed, the Bank of Ghana has been outperforming the program objectives on that front.
The International Monetary Fund, IMF, has said that it is impressed with the performance of the government of Ghana under the IMF-supported program so far. For the part of the government, the finance minister has assured that going into the election year, it is going to comply with fiscal discipline in order to ensure that the gains made so far are not eroded. Reporting for CNL Business, my name is Nashika Caesar.